Welcome into Locky Top Sports, guys. I am your co-host, Josh. I'm here with Naveen and a familiar face to the show. You guys typically know him from Squaring the Circle podcast, but for some odd reason, we decided to invite his dumbass here tonight to talk about South Carolina and their 4-8 season that will be upcoming in 2024. So I know we're kind of giving you a preview there. So we'll be talking about South Carolina. We'll also preview the Oklahoma schedule. We're going to talk a little Tennessee recruiting tonight. We're also going to talk the Olympics. And I think Naveen's got some other material for us as far as, some best fried chicken joints and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of stuff to unpack. But before we get into that, I also want to just bring up that, we're still, partnering with Sign Up Expert. Obviously, this is an incredible opportunity for you guys to join us with our favorite sports books, the best odds, and offers for new users. Just go ahead and head over to our dedicated page at thesignupexpert.com/LockyTopSports to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with unique offerings. If you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level and show some love for our brand, I highly recommend you do it. I've done it. Naveen's done it. Chase is probably going to do it if he's not already done it. He's going to go ahead and you haven't done it.
I did it. No,
you did it. Okay, yeah. There you go. See, Chase is signed up. So QR code is the bottom right corner of the screen here. So go ahead and scan that. There you go. Mirrored effect, but you see where it's at. But we also have the link in the description. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, go to the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's also in the comments. So enough of that. Go ahead and pass to you, Naveen, man. Open us up. What's your best bet this week for the Olympics? I know we got a little bit of, betting odds going on now that we have the some sports going on in the sports calendar with the Olympics started. But, man, it's kind of been a dry spell. So go ahead and let us know what you got for us. I think you're muted, Naveen.
Unmute.
Sorry about that. Serbia minus 18, boys. That's a big lock. I know you probably didn't think about betting this game, but you should bet it. It's a big lock. You get a lot of joker action, and you basically get the NBA MVP versus Puerto Rican squad. So just remember to keep that in your book tonight. It's going to be tomorrow morning, so make sure you get that. USA is also playing, but they're playing South Sudan, so I'm going to stay away from that. So again, Serbia minus 18.
Okay, so Serbia minus 18 there. Again, go to BetStamp, do our Sign Up Expert, and get in on the Olympics, man. It's a good opportunity. This is going to be my blood bank guarantee for me. I'm going to go and I'm going to take Naveen's advice, and I'm going to bet Serbia minus 18 with the Olympic basketball teams there. So do what you want to do. Again, stats speak for themselves. We're 70-49, so that's a good clip no matter where you're at. So do yourself a favor, get in on the action while we have the sports calendar heating back up before we get into college football. Just kind of build a little bit of equity so we can make some good wagers when college football rolls around. So, but getting into that, I want to go ahead and talk about Tennessee's quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. He was interviewed this, I think it was this afternoon. They're getting into to start summer camp, going into fall practice. And he was asked, he said, what's your favorite part about the football season? Do you prefer anything like road games? Do you like playing at home? Is there a specific stadium you like playing at? And he said that he preferred playing on the road. For whatever reason, he said he just feels like he's a little bit more locked in. He didn't want to offend any of the Tennessee fans saying that he didn't like playing at Neyland, because we all know that's the best stadium in the SEC. Contrary to what any South Carolina or lame fan base would have to say. we all know we're the best at Neyland, so not even a debate. But anyway, he wasn't trying to offend us, Vol Nation, but he did say that he enjoyed going on the road. So he hasn't played on the road. The only thing that he's played was a neutral site bowl game, so it'll be exciting to see. He did mention the game that he was specifically excited for the SEC opener because I guess for him he just gets a little bit more locked in when he's on the road. So hopefully he's like Casey Clausen was when he was at Tennessee. Man, he only lost one time as a starter. I think he was like 41-1 as a starter at Tennessee for all 4 years. So yeah.
That's what
you know, Casey Clausen, Iceman, baby.
Okay. So, I mean, I think this comes down to it. Like, this is a general question, right? Chase, you played some sports in your life. Were you a person that fed off the home crowd, or were you a person that liked to be on the road?
I like being at the house because you got more of your family. You got your friends. When you scored that touchdown, you could see the people that you knew cheering for you. Your teammates' family was there. And point blank period, if Neyland's the best stadium in all the SEC, then why would you presumably starting quarterback not say, I want to play here, this is the greatest? Because every other SEC school says, I love being at home. Every Florida Gator quarterback says, I love it in the swamp. Everybody in Georgia.
Well, he predicated what he said before going on the road. He said, I love playing at Neyland. Neyland's the best. But I guess the competitive nature of being on the road, going to somebody else's house and shitting on their parade, I think that's where he was going with that.
Welcome to the NIL, dude. Tennessee has been going to people's places and shitting on the parade. It ain't like he's a barn burner and starting a movement at Tennessee. Tennessee's been smoking people at other people's houses. It's all, especially in the SEC, dude. It's the college environment of being at home. Gurley, the running back at Georgia, everybody knows who he is. The number one place he said he hated playing was in Williams-Brice, South Carolina. He said, I could choke that rooster if I had to hear it again because he was getting smoked every time he went to Williams-Brice. There's something about being at home. What it is you're getting a touch of a taste of a guy named – I've never heard of a guy named Nico that loves being in Tennessee, number one. And because he ain't from around there. Number two, welcome to the NIL. He don't love Tennessee. He loves the money he's getting around there at Tennessee as being the quarterback and the man around there and getting paid to do it. It's a long trail, and we've talked about it multiple times, but this is welcome to the NIL. It's not a guy that's going to bleed puke orange. It's a guy that's getting paid to be at Tennessee, and it's just like the NFL. He might be an Arizona Cardinal one day, and then he gets shipped off, and he's a LA Ram the next day, and that's who he's with now, and he's with them, and it's all the same, man. They've turned college into pro, and that's exactly what Nico is. He's got us getting paid to do his thing at Tennessee, so right now Tennessee is the taste. He don't bleed no volunteer orange.
Josh, interesting question for you based on Chase's analysis there. Will Nico play 30 games at Tennessee? So 30 games is about 2.5 years. I'm thinking, if I'm not saying anything about the future, but I think that's a good, like, if you make it 3 years as a college quarterback at a school in 2024, that's a solid mark.
Well, he's already played 5, so he only needs 25 more games.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
basically 2 seasons, you're saying.
I'm about to say, he really needs 2 seasons, but
yeah, I think he'll play this year, next year, and then off to the NFL.
What the bad part is with going to a place like Tennessee that's got such a rich tradition, and you've got quarterbacks come out. Most people argue that the go.
Jake, we have Jake Merklinger that's behind Nico right now, 4-star.
Nobody knows.
We have George McIntyre. He's going to be the second best quarterback in the class of 2025 coming up.
At South Carolina, we got 2 4-stars and a 5-star. Nobody gives a shit unless you're playing. Point blank period. Tennessee, you've got a rich tradition of quarterbacks that's come and not only done great in college football, but also in the NFL with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is a face in everything. And I'm a man he's post his career. He's running around Morgan Wallen, and everybody's posting him up at
He was at the Olympics.
games. Yeah, he's at the Olympics. I mean, that's Tennessee. Like you're
Great
seeing
ambassador. Great
That's what
ambassador
I'm
for the
saying,
Vols.
man. And so it's not like that's what I'm saying with like Nico talking about that. I'm not a Tennessee fan. I hope he hates to play at Neyland, but it almost kind of pisses me off because Tennessee guys are Tennessee guys. They ain't no breaking them, and this is the SEC to begin with. If that man's a Georgia Bulldog, he'll be 10 years in his NFL career. Randomly hear him in an interview barking for some reason. Same way in South Carolina. Anytime you get a South Carolina guy, Xavier Leggett's with the Carolina Panthers right now, he mentions South Carolina every chance he gets. Debo over there at the 49ers, even when they were in the Super Bowl, he was talking about his time at South Carolina, how he come out of a very small school here in South Carolina. They gave him a shot, and look at him now. That's true blood SEC boys. You grow up, you see it, you live it, and you're part of it. And we've had transplants come in. You got guys from Hawaii that have come and played in the SEC, but once they come and get a taste, this is it. This is it. There's nothing better. And I don't think Nico's going to be. I think Nico's going to be a run-of-the-mill quarterback in the SEC. I think he'll be a top 4 quarterback in the SEC, and he'll never be number 1 the whole time he's there.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit of a guy that likes being, the villain. So I kind of identify a little bit with. I like the road games. I like when people boo me. It gives me some kind of extra motivation. So I kind of see where Nico's going, but I also see your point, Chase. Is like it's just an obvious, easy layup of a thing to say, even if you don't really believe it. Like I can't wait to play in Neyland game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't wait to be in front of my fans. All those things. It is an interesting point that you bring up, and yeah, I think this is our first real season with Nico, and we'll see what he's about. Bunch of tough games.
How does he know, Naveen? How does he know? He's played in 5 college games ever. How does he know that Neyland ain't where it's all at, or going out in Texas A&M, or running to the swamp, or running to Georgia? Until you run the gauntlet of the SEC, how do you not say home is where you want to be? Because I don't care who the SEC school is. I don't care who the ACC, Big 12, whatever. There is no quarterback that's ever played that'll say they'll go and get backed up in the student section at an away game, and you can't hear anything. You can't do anything. And they'll take that environment over when at home, whenever they're backed up on their own 20-yard line, they know everybody in that stadium is dead silent waiting on you to make that play. That's a different feeling, man. And if you've played in sports and you've played in the big moments, that's where it's at. I mean, it's fun taking the spirit out of somebody. It is. But at the same time, there's no place like home. And if you're a true Southeastern Conference man, there's never going to be a place like home.
I looked at his 5 games. He has not played it on the road yet. Right?
That's what I said. How does he know?
That's strange. Anyway, let's move on to predicting a little bit of the schedule. Chase, we brought you on for this explicit purpose. So let's go to South Carolina Gamecocks and take a look at their schedule. So I usually start this off by looking at your website. So your website, a lot of free open space.
Pretty mid. Yeah.
I don't like this lowercase stuff you got going on. Some weird fonts.
It's presented by Ford. I mean, what do you expect?
Questionable sponsors. Columbia Airport. Are we fans of them? Have they done us wrong? Are they good?
No, I think they're good.
Okay. But anyway, we start basically in like 33 days, August 31st, 4:15 p.m. I do fuck with the fact that they're gonna give you the timings. Pretty much they know every single time, or at least a rough estimate I wish Tennessee had that a little bit more explicitly on their website, but we'll cover them next week. August 31st, 4:15 p.m. Versus Old Dominion at home. Thoughts on this game, Chase?
We're gonna win. We're gonna win. I think we're gonna beat the piss at Old Dominion. South Carolina is a team that is pissed as far as the offensive side, and there's a lot of new plugs. There's a lot to look at in South Carolina this year because every receiver you're getting ready to see is a transfer that's going to be playing, other than one that's going to start and the other one's going to rotate. But the one that's rotating, he's last year he was rotating. Everybody else is a transfer. Tight ends are solid. South Carolina's always produced great tight ends. Both of our tight ends are absolutely solid. One of them we got from Western Kentucky 2 years ago. Dude is awesome. The key to all of it is the offensive line for South Carolina. Even if the offensive line, like they did last year, all 16 decide to get injured in the first 2 weeks, we'll make it through Old Dominion. The front seven of South Carolina is going to be nasty on defense this year. Nasty. And we've got
Tell me about the QB. I know the Rattler's gone. So
Naveen, please don't ask a South Carolina fan about that.
Man. Oh, Goggles, baby. He's from Florence. He's from he's from right down the road from where I'm at. The dude is 6'4", 240 pounds. He's the size of Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper's 10th year in the NFL. The dude is massive, and he can fly. Every time he got in last year, I think he played like three games. I know he got against Vandy, and he played some cleanup. The dude had like his very first pass was a 65-yard bomb. Yeah, y'all used to struggle with him a couple years back. Don't get excited.
No, we've not.
You did. You couldn't win your state championship for a while there, bud. And don't think I forgot it. Yeah, shout out Butch. So, anyways, I mean, he was.
We've lost to Vanderbilt literally 5 times in the last 70 years.
Who did Nico play against? Dick Ryder. There we go. Anyways, the dude threw like
UConn,
Vandy. It's not basketball. Vandy. Okay, it's not basketball.
See, Iowa.
It's not women's basketball season. Continue. Cleanup games, exactly. Which is what freshmen do. Which is what Nico and
they wanted to save his red shirt. That's why.
Same with Lenore's. Anyways, we also had an NFL quarterback on the roster, and so
where's he starting?
New Orleans Saints, number 2 behind Derek Carr.
No, he's not starting. That's right.
Where's yours starting at?
New England.
He's starting this year.
Yeah, he's probably going to start.
Joe Mixon is going to start.
That tells you how bad New England is. That's not how good he is.
Look, man. Yeah, it sucks eating that crap.
You didn't like your quarterback anyways. So I
didn't. But that just goes to show you just how ass that albino fuck that you had down there was.
Anyways, he wasn't ass when he hung all them points on y'all. Anyways,
Michigan giving signs.
He's 1-1 against Tennessee. I mean, what can you say? When you're 50-50, you can't act like you beat people up. You got your ass kicked just means you won. So, anyways, Lenore's, he threw 65-yard bomb on the money. He's got a couple good passes. You haven't saw a lot of him because he's coming out of a freshman. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. So we're hoping for the best. The dude's got all the mechanics, body build. I mean, he's got the tools, and they say that he lives in the gym and in the film room, which, I mean, they say about most quarterbacks. But if you look at him in high school, which I had the privilege of because he's right down the road, the dude was the real deal the whole way through. So that's what we're banking on with him.
All right, so we need to establish some more ground rules here when we're talking about South Carolina's schedule. No more talking about any of the players, Naveen. Don't ask him those because you're going to get unsolicited feedback about these bums that are on their team. So in order for us to keep it within an hour and 10 minutes, we need to just get to the game. So next game is at Kentucky.
Nick Harbor.
No one cares about your bum-ass players in South Carolina. You're a guest on this show. Act accordingly. at Kentucky. What's your thoughts there, Chase?
We beat Kentucky.
Okay.
Naveen.
Easy money.
Okay.
Easy money.
I think,
Kentucky's getting chopped up.
okay. I think you lose to Kentucky.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Chase has the two. Chase is 2-0. We're 1-1 at this point, Josh and I.
And then the Bayou Bengals are coming up to Willie Bryce there. It looks like
Big
for
game.
a nooner.
Will you be at this game, Chase?
It's LSU, South Carolina, man.
Come on.
I have a newborn, so I highly doubt it.
You have a newborn? Who's that stopped? I'm going to Oklahoma. I'm going to Alabama game in Knoxville. I'm going over here to the Bank of America Stadium to watch the Wolfpack get their ass beat by us. So, yeah, who's that stopping?
That's my fault. I forgot I wasn't here with hands-on dads. That's on me.
Oh, hands-on.
That's on me. That's on me.
Okay.
That's on me.
So this LSU game, what do you think score prediction might be for this one? At home.
In all honesty, we're going to beat LSU. LSU is not going to be what it is without Jaden Daniels. It's not. They're going to be LSU still. It's going to be an LSU team.
I agree with you. I wouldn't say it's because of Jaden Daniels. I would say it's more Malik Neighbors being gone, but
there's a lot of losses that LSU took.
Those two in of themselves are enough to bring them down a notch.
It is, but LSU is best later. Always. LSU has always been better later. So to get them at the beginning is a blessing. And I hope neither one of y'all said we're going to beat LSU but lose to Kentucky. I don't know what pack y'all smoking on.
No,
Kentucky is going to get their eyes beat out. And we're going to beat LSU. Kentucky will actually be a tight game. But we're gonna beat Kentucky and we're gonna beat LSU at home. That's gonna be a ball game. I'd watch that game. It's gonna be a good game. The difference in Kentucky and LSU is we're gonna have a mobile quarterback. That's gonna be your difference. You can write it down. We're gonna have a very mobile quarterback, and that'll be the difference in those third downs with both of those teams. So we're gonna be 3-0 going in. And then we're going to walk in and see Akron.
Yeah, not so fast, Naveen. So South Carolina's played LSU 22 times since they've joined the SEC, and they've won twice. They hold a 2-19-1 record against LSU. So give me LSU.
Yeah, we also lost to the Citadel in 1912.
Last time you guys played LSU was in COVID, during the 10-game SEC schedule, and you got beat by 30. So,
and none of those players are still on the team, other than maybe two.
Okay, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Okay, next game is Akron. I think we can all agree here. South Carolina gets the dub. Or someone's definitely getting fired.
I don't know. It might be a barn burner, guys.
No, I think Akron. I think you guys get to 2-2 at that point in the schedule.
Okay.
Hold on. You hear that? That's old Lane clapping him cheeks. October 5th. Old Rev is going to come in there and
please don't let me hear a Tennessee man talk highly on Lane Kiffin. That lets me know just how fake your whole Puke Orange fan base is.
No, I'm a realist. So
throw something else at him while he's whipping your ass in your stadium.
Here's the thing. So we're giving a prediction for this for our listeners, so they can make good, educated gambling picks. So as much as I hate Lane Kiffin, and begrudgingly, I'm giving him this win against South Carolina here, but
we're losing Ole Miss.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah,
okay. we lose to Ole Miss. I agree with the loss. So I think Ole Miss is going
to be a very good football team this year.
Very good team this year. Ole Miss is going to be hard to beat.
Jackson Dart, and we also can't go back. Me and Naveen has already previewed Ole Miss, and we gave Ole Miss the win when we previewed.
Ole Miss. I don't think we beat Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to. They're gonna beat us. Ole Miss is gonna be. They're probably gonna be. I think Ole Miss is gonna be the number one team in SEC West this year, minus Texas.
Well, there is no East or West, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Well, I'm just saying on the West side, if you go traditional SEC,
okay.
I,
Sure.
I would say on that side, the only other team on the West side, I mean, the true SEC split, the only other team over there is going to be Texas. That's going to compete with Ole Miss over there.
Okay, so well, then that's a good segue to the next game there, October 12th in T-Town. Chase, you guys got Alabama.
We're gonna beat them.
I think you guys got a good shot here.
We're gonna beat them.
I think it'll be close going into the fourth quarter, but I think it's going to be roll tide.
We're gonna beat Alabama. It's gonna shock everybody. It's gonna mess some stuff up. And I'm a Carolina man, so everybody's like, "Ain't no way." I'm telling you, the fall off you're getting ready to see.
Well, I was about to say this isn't Nick Saban's Alabama.
The Alabama that you're getting ready to see, they returned a good amount of players. They also had a lot transfer out. You're going to see just how bad Alabama's quarterback truly is. You think he's nasty. He's nasty in Nick Saban's system. Nick Saban.
Oh, you won't find a Jalen Milroe apologist on this podcast.
I'm telling you right now, that dude is overhyped and overrated and lived in a system that every quarterback, name me a quarterback at Alabama that didn't do at least above average under Nick Saban. They all of them look like all-stars.
Yeah.
So, and it's the system that he made, which is what you want to do as a head coach. You want to make sure that of all things, your quarterback always looks good. So you build an offensive line.
They played to his strengths, and that ultimately was their demise late in the year against Michigan. So
exactly. So I think we actually beat Alabama here, and any other year I would say no. South Carolina's got something with Alabama. There's something about South Carolina, Alabama. I don't know what it is, but there's a spark randomly at South Carolina when we play, because we don't get to play Alabama very often.
Oh, so now we're gonna count historical matchups. Got it.
No,
Naveen, what is your thoughts about Alabama and South Carolina?
I think that South Carolina, no matter what, is going to cover the spread.
Okay, I agree with that. I think they're going to cover the spread. That's a good analysis right there.
I think we're looking at least 10-point spread for Alabama, more close to 14 points. Alabama will be favored, but I think that this will be a closer game than a lot of people think. And again, they have to look ahead to playing us in Neyland. We will be at that game. So this is the week before the.
So you think it's going to be trappy for Alabama?
Oh yeah, this is a big time. I guess
it's definitely trappy for a first year head coach at Alabama.
Yeah,
definitely.
And you know, Chase, and I'm not taking anything away from you guys. I know you were about to give us the Iliad of Stephen Garcia. You know how he valiantly took him down in 2010, and you're going to talk about historical matchups that you like to bring up when they fit your narrative.
No, I'm just saying there's like a sport. We never get to play those guys. If you look at the history of Alabama and South Carolina, even with us being in the SEC, we rarely ever get to play them. Our SEC West opponents would usually be like Arkansas, Mississippi State. As soon as A&M come into the conference, that was a permanent opponent. And then you got LSU and stuff like that. We get to play those guys all the time, but we just didn't get to play Alabama very much. So it was like it was weird. Even back in when Tyrone was the head coach of Alabama,
sure,
there was like and they sucked back then. It was like a spark. I saw South Carolina, Alabama back then. It was a random little spark against playing Alabama for some reason. I never understood it. I understand.
For about after Gene Stallings was ousted, and then they went through the coaching carousel before they wound up with Nick Saban. Alabama was pretty much a rug that everybody wiped their feet on the SEC for a long time. So when you guys were going 3-10 or whatever, that was one of your 3 wins was against Alabama. So I could see how it provided a spark for you guys. But to Naveen's point, I do think that Alabama will be looking forward, because unlike you guys playing them every 5 or 6 years, I mean, we play them every year. And again, not to take anything away from South Carolina, but you know how much Alabama hates Tennessee. We can go all the way back to, the rivalry between Bear Bryant and Bob Nealon. We can look at Philip Fulmer turning them in for all the cheating they did back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They tried to subpoena Philip Fulmer at SEC Media Days in a civil lawsuit over it down in Alabama when they held SEC Media Days there in Birmingham. So the hate runs deep. They could beat us for 1,000 years in a row and they would still hate us just a monochrome below Auburn, So to Naveen's point, I do think that Alabama will be looking ahead to the third Saturday in October rivalry. So it could be a good opportunity for you guys to sneak up on them. I'm not going to take it off the table that you guys can't beat them, but I got to agree with Naveen. I think you guys definitely cover. That's probably going to be one of those 3.5 spreads. What do you think, Naveen?
I mean, I got to look at Bama's schedule again. I think that it would be, since it's at home, I think it would probably be double digits, like 10 and a half.
10, you think 10 and a half?
Yeah. I do think so, but I think
it's a nooner. It's a noon game. That's what that plays a lot to me. If it was a night game, okay, maybe something there.
Okay.
South Carolina historically does better at noon games too.
We do, and at noon, all the cousins in Alabama can't get drunk enough yet to absolutely raise hell. So piss on Alabama and
blitz, Bama blitz. All that shit's gonna be still in bed.
Yeah. Piss on Alabama and all 4 of the last names that'll be in the entire stadium that Saturday.
There you go.
All right, so this is a double game for us this week. We're gonna talk about it once, so let's talk about it now. So South Carolina at Oklahoma. Chase, there's a newcomer to the SEC. What do you feel like about these newcomers to the SEC? Like, how do you want this game to go?
Well, number one, as SEC guys, if any of you pick Oklahoma to beat South Carolina, I got nothing for you because you ain't an SEC man. I think the goal here is to absolutely baptize Oklahoma and Texas into the SEC. The very first thing about Oklahoma is I hope they never win a game their entire existence because their head coach is Brett Venables and he come from Clemson. And that entire university can burn to absolute hell. I hate them. So piss on them and piss on him. So, but now he's from Oklahoma. That's where he played his ball. He's
a Sooner, man. Come on.
He's a boomer, mutt dog.
He didn't play at Clemson. He just coached there for Dabo for a little
forever. Bit. That's right. For Yabba Dabba Doo. And so this is the thing though that he's struggling with Oklahoma. He is a defensive man. Point blank period. That he makes his bread and butter off defense. And he went to a team that has made their bread and butter off almost as long as we've been alive, other than the early 90s, off offense. Right. And so he's rebuilding that defense to get it where it's supposed to be and then have a good offensive system. Oklahoma will be decent this year, but they're going to learn what it feels like to play a team where you don't get a break. There will be no Horned Frogs. There will be no Texas Techs here. There will be no Middle Tennessee States here. You're not getting that. So whenever you get punched in the mouth that Saturday, on Wednesday, when you're slowly starting to feel better, and you're like, well, I'm going to be okay this weekend because we've got, South Central Louisiana Mud Dogs this weekend, and then you don't, and then you face another one. I think Oklahoma's going to get hit in the mouth, and we're right in the part of the schedule where Oklahoma's going to be wore out. That Brett Venables has not had enough time to build that defense up to where it needs to be to stop what we're going to stop because South Carolina is loaded with running backs this year. Okay. Loaded with running backs.
Gotcha.
That portal, we pulled so many people in this year. You're going to have Rocket Sanders hitting them in the mouth over and over and over. And by the time we get here, there's nothing. You can smile all you want to. He ran wild on y'all too. So I'm just saying. Oklahoma is losing at Oklahoma. Okay. And you can write that down.
Okay, perfect. Josh.
Hold on, man. I don't know why we're catching strays. Because I'm smiling. No, I'm not smiling about that. Smile about something else.
When we talk about football, you know I hate you. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, hey, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah, it's okay. Give me the Gamecocks here, and this is the reason why. You got a guy by the name of Dylan Gabriel. We're talking about almost 3,600 yards passing last year. He threw 30 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating of almost 90. I mean, that's just big time, just big boy stats. No matter what league you're playing in, when you're playing at this level, that's a lot of offensive production that you're taking away. And Dylan Gabriel will be playing for Oregon this year. Okay. So he hit the transfer portal because a lot of valid points that Chase made there with the experiment that's going on out at Oklahoma with Brett Venables there. They're not the offensive powerhouse that they used to be, and that kind of crept up there at certain points of the year. I think they crescendoed when they beat Texas last year, and then after that, it all kind of went to hell in a handbasket pretty quick. Would have been on my bingo card last year that Texas made the playoffs after losing that game. And Dylan Gabriel, he played absolutely out of his mind that game. So I think South Carolina gets it done because Shane Beamer is going to be coaching for his life. And, there's parallels there too. Shane Beamer, Chase, he doubled down on Brett being an Oklahoma guy and blah, blah, blah. Shane Beamer also coached at Oklahoma before he was at South Carolina. I think he was like quality control and like hydration specialist at Oklahoma. Yeah, whatever. Absolutely nothing. Nothing burger. And now he's at South Carolina because his daddy. But anyway.
Oklahoma back to South Carolina. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right, Chase. We got A&M.
What do you got, Naveen? Who are you picking? Gamecocks or Sooners?
Oh man, like I think Chase is right here. I think that Carolina kind of this is a must-win game for Carolina. I think any team that's like I feel like Chase is telling me like maybe 8. I think we spoke off the podcast like maybe 8 wins, 9 wins for South Carolina. Thinking about it, maybe 10, 8. Okay. So like if you're on that cusp, you got to take care of like one big opponent on the road, and I think this is probably like your signature win on the road if you're South Carolina. Let's assume that you don't get it against Bama, you got to go do it against Oklahoma. So just telling that narrative. Chase, tell me about homecoming, night game versus A&M.
Is there anything special about homecoming? Do you guys go out there and like get on the cockaboose and have a good time out there? Like, is there any like tradition or festivities? What's y'all's tradition? Like, what do y'all do?
Well, the biggest tradition we got on our homecoming is we don't climb to the top of the mountain and kiss our cousin like they do at Tennessee. But what we do is for homecoming, we do a bunch of stops. We shoot a bunch of fireworks. They got the cockaboos going on. I mean, we got cocky out there. We got a bunch of stuff.
You do the cockaboos. Okay. So I don't know why you got offended and had to take a shot, but keep going.
The cockaboo, because I knew the tone of your voice. The listeners might not know the tone. I know the tone. Okay, Josh?
You sound like a woman.
You sound like a Tennessee fan. A&M, we're gonna beat A&M at home. That is going to be a rough game all the way around. I don't know why, but for some reason A&M is just always a weird game at South Carolina, other than like Kenny Thrills that one year where he blowed out. A&M and South Carolina is just a weird game to watch. It's A&M can be like number 2 in the country, and then for some reason they'll just lose to us. And you'll watch the game, you're like, why are you losing? Y'all look so much better than us. And then vice versa. South Carolina would just look like studs, and we'll be kicking them in the mouth. And right here at the end, it's like A&M just comes back and does something. A&M is just a weird game for South Carolina for some reason every year. But I think at home in Columbia environment at night, and with Texas A&M, I mean, obviously they got coach changes and all that stuff. I think we beat A&M. And historically, if you look at South Carolina, November is the month for South Carolina for some reason does really well. I can't tell you why. I don't. And Shane Boomer's done really well in November. Spurrier did. Lou Holtz did. I can't tell you why South Carolina does good in November. But for some reason, November is usually when South Carolina turns it on. And I guess it's usually because we've only won like 3-4 games, so we're trying to get bowl eligible, and so we're fighting tooth and nail. But we beat Texas A&M at home this year.
Okay. Josh, tell me about South Carolina at the Vandy Boys.
Oh man, I mean,
You skip it.
It's yeah. South Carolina's not gonna lose to Vanderbilt.
Okay.
But
okay.
A&M, they'll beat A&M because Mike Elko. They'll win despite Shane Beamer's horrible coaching. I think it'll be a war of who's the worst coach between Shane Beamer and Mike Elko.
Okay.
It'll be a low scoring game. Like we're talking. I don't think there'll be more than 4 combined touchdowns scored.
Okay. So maybe
31-17.
Maybe put that game on the Underwatch. Who knows?
Yeah, Underwatch all day.
Okay.
Same with Carolina Vandy. That'll be a rock fight.
Okay. Chase, talk to me about South Carolina versus Mizzou.
The battle for Columbia. Who's got the best Columbia?
Yeah, who's got the best Columbia?
Como or SoCo?
Well, if you've been to Missouri, you'll know that South Carolina has the best Columbia. Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not even a debate.
Not even talking about football. If you're looking at the battle of Columbia's, ours is way better than Missouri's. That's miserable.
I'll agree to that.
If you're gonna write down a random game for South Carolina to drop, it's Mizzou.
No, you guys cannot lose to Rugrat. That motherfucking Tommy Pickles ass looking bitch, Eli Drinkowitz. You can't lose to that motherfucker. You're not losing this game. Give me South Carolina. Go Cox. Sandstorm. Do the thing. You guys better beat the fucking brakes off of Missouri. Period. No excuses.
Missouri. I'm telling you, but I'm just saying if there's a hiccup in the schedule at the end, it would be Mizzou because we're not losing to Wofford nor Clemson. So if you're gonna pick a hiccup, I'm saying bet nods. Y'all want to gamble? You can do that with Mizzou, but I think we beat Mizzou, especially at home. Battle of Columbia. South Carolina hates Missouri, and Missouri hates South Carolina, and it's weird because they have not been an SEC long.
I'm telling you, like Mississippi State, more cowbell. I need more Sandstorm. I need all the fucking Sandstorm.
Oh well, you're getting the rooster all night with them.
Yeah, that crazy ass cocky.
Over and over.
Yeah, trust me, I've lived that miserable experience a few times.
Okay, fair enough. We'll skip Wofford. That's big dub. And then Clemson to the end the season. Thoughts, Chase? Murder?
That's the team in the upstate. We're going to put the coffin.
As much as I would like to say I agree with Chase.
Don't you do it, you sorry son of a gun. Come on, dude. Come on.
Give me Clemson, man. Clemson's going to win this game.
You're doing just piss me off.
Clemson's going to win probably by a touchdown. Like 10-point game. Field goal and touchdown.
We get it there. I want to see your wallet and see where you actually bet. Because I know you're just doing it to piss me off.
No. I really think if you see any spread, 10.5, I'm going Clemson on that.
Why?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Well, I think Dabo's got a lot to prove, and your boy Shane has done nothing to prove me wrong as far as trusting my gut.
Let me give you a taste of it. Dabo has 0 transfers coming into the program. He's got them going out, but he will not sign them.
Who won last year's game?
Clemson. Who won the year before that? South Carolina. So
who won the year before that?
Clemson.
And then the year before that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because talent continues to grow. Who beat you 2 years ago?
I don't know because I don't live in the past.
Why are you asking about it then?
Because you brought it up.
No, I didn't.
You did. You said, well, I asked you, I said, who won last year? Just, because that's the most recent. That's not the past. That's the most recent game. And then you said, well, who won 2 years ago?
So we can only live in the past if it's recent and
no, this is the most
you're
current.
trying to
That's like who's the reigning baseball national champion? Tennessee. Who's the reigning state champion of South Carolina? Clemson. In
Okay.
football.
Well, here's the thing. As you know, in college football, talent comes and goes extremely fast,
Especially in the NIL era. That's true.
And if you're not signing NIL players and you're not bringing in transfers, period, you're not winning. And that's just the law of the land. You can say what you want. I'm developing my players. Yeah, but half of them are transferring out, which they lost. They lost 4 and 5-star players after this year. Their quarterback is still not proven. Clay Klubnik is not proven. He still hasn't had a game where he's proven. He showed multiple times last year. I mean, calling on his own self against Miami, losing to Miami over and over and over. He showed that he's not there. And I can't tell you. And they lost their running back, which they got Maffa, who's also a good running back. But like I'm saying, you're losing your starter there. So if you're going to load up the talent and talk about the way it used to be, then you go with Clemson whenever they were paying Deshaun Watson and everybody else under the table whenever he was getting hand massages from the local Asians. But you can't go on that no more. We living in the new age of college football, and this is what it is now. And they're slowly, you can watch the decline. Decline is slowly 14-0, 12-2, 11-3, 9-4. It's every year it's just slowly declining. It's because they won't get with the times because the coach is so hard-headed about it. He's like, I don't have to do that because we're Clemson. You're getting ready to see. He found out last year, and he's getting ready to find out again this year.
Well, listen, nothing would make me happier.
Clemson.
Nothing would make me happier, Chase, to see you guys beat Clemson. I'm just going off of law of average here.
Okay. Well, so South Carolina had a 5.5 expected win total,
and that's what I predicted months ago before all the prognosticators came out. I said they'd be 5-7.
Okay, so I think based on these picks, I'm roughly at 6-6.
I think I'm right at 5-7 with my picks.
Okay, Chase, you seem to be at what, 8-4?
Extremely optimistic.
8-4.
Yeah, 8-4. Extremely optimistic.
Okay, so let's move on to Oklahoma. We'll try to do this a lot faster. This one, not have as many.
Naveen's ready to go to bed. Yeah, I can see it in his eyes.
As many personal stories or connections with players here, so we could just go down the line.
Well, we got Tennessee there. That's a big one there. So
yeah, we will get to that. Temple, I can tell you that Temple is a shit school. It's real bad.
Jersey, baby.
They're actually in Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
dumbass.
Where Will Smith, West Philly.
Philly, yeah. I knew Temple was in Philly. I don't know what I was thinking. It's late. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. I do think that Oklahoma will win this one. I don't know about the next one. They got Houston next.
H-Town, baby.
These teams are not these teams. Well, People's Champ.
People's Champ selling them grills, baby.
Yeah, so I think Houston could be interesting. This is another game at Norman. Like they start four games in a row at home. I think that's a little soft, honestly. Don't really like that. Like mixing it up a little bit.
Get the baby gloves on. They're coming in the SEC. They're a little scared. They might not be bowl eligible if they don't get these cupcakes up here first.
Yeah, pulling those Pampers pull-ups up.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. I say cupcakes, but Houston's not going to be a cupcake. Tulane's not either.
Yeah, Tulane is good. I mean, we could be looking at coming into Tennessee.
It could be they could be 1-2 coming into Tennessee, and Brett Venables, coaching for his life.
Yeah. So Chase, any thoughts about any of these games up till this point? I think like honestly, Houston is a toss-up. They're gonna win one of these two games. Like I think that maybe they lose to Tulane, but beat Houston. But we'll hear from Josh. Josh is going to this game, Tennessee and at Oklahoma. But your thoughts here, like, what are you expecting out of Tennessee versus Oklahoma in Norman?
I think they start off 2-0, and then I think they dropped to Tulane. I think they beat Houston. They dropped to Tulane.
Okay.
Getting ready for SEC play because all they're going to hear about is SEC, and then they're going to open up the SEC with Tennessee, which is a hell of a team to open up the SEC with. In my heart, I want to say they start out 4-0 with Auburn there 5-0 because I hope Tennessee never wins the game. But I think that they start the season probably. Tennessee is going to beat Oklahoma. Anybody with an offense is going to beat Oklahoma this year. That is what Oklahoma is getting ready to learn thoroughly. If you don't have a defense, you will not win in this conference. And Tennessee has a high-powered offense with a great coach running that offense. So
who also is a Boomer Sooner.
It gives him a little bit more motivation to beat his own crowd.
It'll be his first time back in Norman since he left.
I was about to
say, once he got fired as offensive
coordinator.
I was about to
say, and he got ran out of Norman.
So and it wasn't his fault.
No, and it gives him a little more firepower to shoot at him. I don't think Tennessee struggles with Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma truly struggles hard this year. I don't think Texas really does, but I think Oklahoma is going to struggle. SEC play this year. And even with Auburn right there,
I think they have a strong chance of being 3-2 coming in the Tennessee game.
And
or coming out of the Tennessee game, excuse me.
Yeah, and then they're gonna lose to Auburn. You can write that down.
Yep.
Auburn is not going to be your typical Auburn of the last 5-6 years. Auburn will be tough.
Oh my God, this is the first time I've looked at Oklahoma's schedule. It's
not pretty.
It is not pretty at all. Oh my! They got Texas right after that.
I looked at it before we got on this podcast, and I was like, Oklahoma's gonna get their shit pushed in.
Like shoved all the way in.
You can write it down. They're gonna beat Temple, but Houston and Tulane is going to be somewhat.
It's not a cakewalk for them. Tulane's probably going to win their conference.
Yeah,
they won their bowl game last year. We even got one of their best receivers. As a transfer. So they're producing good talent down there. They're well coached. I think that'll be a really tough game for them.
It is, and then you walk in and you got Tennessee. They're going to lose to Tennessee. Point blank period. They won't be able to keep up.
And that's going to be a 7 p.m. kick. Like there's no doubt in my mind. It's going to be Oklahoma's first game in the SEC. They're playing against Tennessee.
When's the last time they were in Neyland?
2015.
Yeah, so them kids have no idea what they're getting into.
And it was a 7 o'clock kick on ESPN that night too. Naveen was at that game, and so was I. We were both there. That was Naveen's christening.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, them kids have no idea what they're getting into. And then when you leave Tennessee after that ass whipping and it kind of a demoralizing welcome to the conference, you got Auburn and you're gonna be like, well, Auburn hasn't been that great over the last couple of years. Auburn will be good this year. Auburn will be good this year. You can write that down.
Tennessee will play at Norman, but Oklahoma's going to the Plains there in Auburn, and the Right Reverend. I think he's gonna do the business in take nothing away from Auburn, man. I know they've been struggling, and I know they got Hugh Freeze, the Right Reverend, down there now.
Hugh Freeze will be good this year.
I think they're gonna be pretty decent.
He doesn't miss
7 or 8 wins. 7 or 8 wins.
Hugh Freeze does not miss in year 2 ever in his whole career.
Look at him at Ole Miss.
I'm telling you, Hugh Freeze is going to have Auburn.
He had Liberty on the map. For a non-group of 5 or group of 4,
Liberty was ranked.
Liberty, I know, that's what I'm saying. Liberty was ranked.
Yep. Yeah, and then they're going to turn around and walk into Texas.
It just keeps going.
It's a buzz saw. Look at that. Like I don't know. Like was it like Texas like boosters like that? talked to the SEC office and was like, "This is what we're going to make Oklahoma schedule because they're coming with us to the SEC. Fuck them." And this is how we do it.
Well, on the plus
my
side,
God, Texas.
On the plus side, after Texas rapes them and South Carolina gangbangs them, Ole Miss is going to get the chance to take them on a nice fancy date and then beat the piss out of them, and then they'll get to heal their tears against Maine. So they'll get them a win there.
And they play at Missouri, and they play
Alabama
and LSU. Oh my God!
This is the
Oklahoma might win 2 games this whole year, dude.
So I think Oklahoma's win total. I gotta check this again because I can't believe it.
I got them winning 3
7.5. I think this is a blast. The under.
There's no way they win 7 games.
No
They'd be lucky to win 5 games, honestly.
This is a murderer's row of just. Yeah, I see them. These are the locks. Maine, Temple.
That's about it.
And that's the lock. Because Houston's going to be decent. Tulane's decent. And their SEC schedule is just.
To the SEC.
Their SEC schedule is absolutely unconscious.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Josh. We're looking at this and we're going like, man, this is crazy. What a schedule. The normal schedule for South Carolina and Tennessee, start with Georgia, then go to Florida, then you go to Tennessee or South Carolina. Then you got to lock in the SEC West.
And we play Alabama every year.
Auburn, LSU. You draw in at least 2 out of those 3 in A&M. And then you've got Mizzou, which is always a trap game. And so if you look at what we normally do every single year, we're getting excited because we're baptizing a new team into what we do every
year.
That's right. When the college playoffs always come out, you get an SEC school that's got 1 or 2 losses, and you're like, how are they going to get in? Washington's 12-0. They ain't played us yet. Come on down to the slaughterhouse, bud.
Yeah, man,
they're injured every week. Not they had an off week and pulled a hamstring. Like this dude tore 3 ACLs in one game on one guy. So welcome to the slaughterhouse, guys. I mean, Oklahoma's
this is not for the weak or faint-hearted. Coming in the SEC, either Texas or Oklahoma. But objectively, when I look at Texas's schedule, it's much easier than Oklahoma's.
Yes, it is.
Much, much easier. They're giving it to Oklahoma. They did not, no lube, no nothing, no spit, no nothing. It's straight sandpaper.
Yeah,
and it is a Ice Cube diss track in 1995.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a hard year in Norman. I'm just gonna say that they might beat us. I'm gonna save my my war cry and my speech for when we preview the Tennessee schedule. But yeah, they better hope and pray they sneak one on us because the rest of the year it looks really bad for them.
I'm gonna write it down. Oklahoma don't beat us this year.
Okay,
they don't. They don't.
All right.
They will not. They won't beat. And you can ask Josh. I am a realist South Carolina fan. We watched an entire. Don't do that. Don't do that. I am a realist. Now you can't predict injuries. When you get 16 guys and 9 of them are on the offensive line, they're starters when they go out, you can't do nothing with that. I mean, you're gonna have a crap season. But I've always told that Josh has never heard me say we're gonna win that championship. We're gonna win the SEC this year. I've never said it in my entire 33 years. Never said it.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's on brand for South Carolina.
Well, I've been here for the 0-10 seasons. I mean, I've seen it. I lived it. I mean, I was here for.
Can't relate.
Yeah, I know you can't. But I'm just saying, I was here when Lou Holtz walked in, and there was 0 tight ends on the whole roster. In the D1 SEC team, there's no tight ends. I was here for that. So to see us go through the highs and the lows, and Lou Holtz I mean, Lou Holtz had his top 5 in the country 4 time there. And to see the Spurrier years, and now you got, watching Muschamp run us into the dirt just as hard as he could, and then seeing Beamer come in. And I mean, I've been here, and old fat Brad Scott back in the 90s coming from Florida State over here because he got his high powered offense and never worked. I've seen it, so I don't get my expectations up. The year we played for the SEC, and ran into Cam Newton over there at Auburn, and our quarterback Stephen Garcia decided to bar hop in Atlanta all night before the game.
Yeah, it was what a 63-7 beatdown or some shit like that.
The biggest SEC championship loss of all
time.
And Steve Spurrier said that he said, I knew we were messed up midway through the first quarter whenever I grabbed our quarterback's face mask and pulled him in to chew him out, and all I smelt was vodka.
Yeah, that checks out.
We're also the only school to bring in drunk quarterbacks at SEC championship games.
All right.
Fair enough.
Let's switch gears a little bit. We got Olympics going on right now. Wanted to bring this up because it had quite a shocking opening ceremony. A lot of people didn't like it. The conditions in the athlete dorms not good. The food's not good. People getting robbed.
It's France.
Seems like a general shit show going on in Paris. What have you guys heard about this? Did you guys get to see the opening ceremony at all? See what people were talking about?
So yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with the opening ceremony, and I know we don't like to get too religious or too political on the show. So for me, I'll say I kind of agree with a lot of people with the Christian faith that it was really disappointing to see. Especially me, I'm a very proud Catholic man, and to kind of see the way that was kind of mocking the Last Supper. Some will argue that taken out of context, but optics are optics, and a lot of times perception is reality. So no matter how anybody tries to spin it, I think you got to be a little bit more self-conscious about how you market those kind of things, so you don't offend anybody. So if their intent wasn't to offend Christians, they did a really bad job. You could have fooled me. It looked pretty close to a mock-up of the Last Supper, of something that a lot of Catholics and Christians worldwide hold near and dear, especially in Paris. Paris, they have a very strong Catholic identity, over the years and over the millennia. So I know that their archbishop, their cardinal, kind of reached out and kind of said that they were very disappointed with it as well, and highly offended by it, and hopefully that they don't see anything like that moving forward. But outside of those things, yeah, I've heard that it's been a pretty miserable place, and anybody that's lived in Europe and been able to go to Paris, they know that Paris is filthy, it's nasty, it's got a lot of pests, rodents, stinks, homeless, all those things, which my heart goes out to those. We want to be charitable and help people in need, but the city of Paris, it doesn't do itself a lot of favors, and it's kind of a shitty town.
It's like doing the Olympics on Skid Row.
Yeah, and we bring that up, but you bring up Skid Row, but 2028's in LA. So
I know.
Is Gavin Newsom, and I know, here we go, we're going down a political rabbit hole, but is California going to be any cleaner, when 2028 rolls around, so we can talk about Paris and kind of, look down our nose from the ivory tower as Americans on our European counterparts here. But I don't know that, to your point, Chase, you say Paris is Skid Row, but it's actually going to be in LA where Skid Row is next year, or excuse me, in 2028. So
name one American that's not from California that claims California.
Yeah, none really.
Exactly.
You'd much rather claim from being from New Jersey than California. Ain't that right, Naveen?
100%. I'd rather claim the trash can in New York City than I would California.
Okay.
I'll say this about it, and I'd like to say that my opinions are mine alone and not Lucky Top Sports. I don't mind any religion. If you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, a lot of us are born and bred into the religion that we're in, and a lot of people don't get the chance to explore religions and don't get that type of freedom. Me and Josh have been in places where they've never heard anything other than exactly what they're told, and most of them can't write or read, so it ain't, it ain't like they can get on a computer and Google something and go down a rabbit hole of religion and explore. And so, whatever is yours is yours. It ain't for me to judge. That's on you, brother. You got to stand there at the end, not me. But I'll say this: I am always going to be against a mockery of any religion.
Right.
Period. And what they done was a mockery. Somebody tried to say something. I know it was like a mockery of like the Greek gods because it's the Olympics. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I love studying about Greek gods. I have tattoos based on it because I love that. The Roman Empire.
Greek mythology. Yeah.
I love
Western civilization, all that good stuff. Yeah.
I love that stuff, man. And that is not what that was when the dude hopped up with his hair dyed and lipstick on and he's in a damn onesie and he don't need to be in no onesie. There's no Greek god that goes to that. And there's statues that show you they don't look like that. That dude is a happy meal away from dying of obesity. And we've got him on this stage for some reason opening up for the biggest athletic event. Say it again, the biggest athletic event in the world that showcases the best athletes, period. And everybody sitting at that table looked like they had 72 and a half Last Suppers prior to that Last Supper in the last 24 hours. So don't be telling me that. But I'll never get down with any sort of mockery of, it could be Islam. And if it would have been any other religion other than Christianity, there would have been a huge uproar. If
everybody would have been up in arms.
Muslims, if they'd done this with Muslims, we wouldn't be hearing this, and it would have never even got started. If it was Hindu, if it was Buddhist, anything you got, dude, you'd have never seen it. It would have never even been brought up. But it just shows, and Lucky Top is not going political, but I am. It just shows you right there that the only religion in the world that can be persecuted against continuously and there's never any repercussions is Christianity. And it happens every single day and everything that you hear on the radio and everywhere else. And they make it okay because they say that it's okay, but you can't do it anywhere else. And the problem is we don't get violent. If we could get violent like the old days and start knocking people off their horses and hit them with lightning in the friggin' forehead, they shut that shit up. But we won't do that. So we're just gonna continue to pray for them. And if they will come around here, I'll beat the piss out of all them fat son of a guns that want to be on that stage doing that. It really pissed me off whenever I saw it.
I got you high on the collar there, huh, Chase?
I mean, ultimately for me, I happened to watch it with like when some of my cousins came over and they're like 6, 7 years old. And I just had to answer a lot of questions.
Yeah. It's very inappropriate.
They were like, what is going on, Naveen? And I was like, I don't know. We should not talk about this. Let's watch something else. 30 million people watched it live. Just a crazy thing. And France tries to be some kind of elitist nation a lot of the times, and they're not taking care of the athletes. They're not really respecting other people, so they don't have a clean place. And like you said, Josh, let's just hope that Los Angeles is better. Right?
Oh man,
like that, because we can't shit on them,
right?
And not have our shit together.
Correct. Right? And to you guys' point, kind of capstone this. I will say, Chase, when you brought up, the mockery, you don't have a problem with it. Yeah, you don't have a problem with any religion. My thing is when you enter into that realm, and that's why we try to kind of stay away from that, especially like on our show or basically just kind of when you're talking amongst friends or colleagues or whatever, because it's a division, right? Every single time, because nobody's going to agree on the same thing. But to my point, Naveen just said 30 million people's watching the opening ceremony, and everybody's wanting to get behind their team, their country, who they represent, and not. identity politics or an agenda, because all that is decisiveness. When all this is, like, the Olympics is to bring people together. And what do they do within the first 5 minutes of the Olympics airing on TV? They divide everybody, right? Yep. And that's what's really disheartening. You know, you can take my morality and my religion out of it, but when you really look at it holistically, it comes down back to that of, are we really uniting people, or are we just trying to do something to divide each other further and further apart? And again, you know, I was quick to cast judgment on France, but I'll tell you, if 2028, you know, California and LA is still kind of in the shape that it's in right now, you know, that in itself is going to be a pressure cooker, right? That's going to make people divided about, oh, you know, Gavin Newsom can't clean it up, blah, blah, blah. So it goes back into a rabbit hole. It goes back to, I mean, you can even bring up Colin Kaepernick, which we won't go down that rabbit hole, but like Colin Kaepernick and the protest, right?
Don't
like
do it.
those things, when you get political, that's why the NFL, like all the fans got so polarized with that whole thing. It's like, all right, here we are. We're trying to do a opening kickoff after the national anthem, and then we got some people that support it and some people that don't. You know,
if they do a Colin Kaepernick thing, but
it's really irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant whether they do it or not. No matter which side of that opinion you're on is irrelevant. The point is that it divides people based on how they feel. And sports, I think all of us here on this show has played sports, and we enjoy the purity of the competition and the camaraderie that comes down with competing with your friends and against your opponents. And that's what matters about sports. It's not all the extracurricular stuff that happens on the outside of it. So I will quit pontificating this point, but I hope that we've learned a good lesson. And I know we haven't, because we're humans, and most of the time in society, we take the most idiotic route to any common sense. But I hope moving forward that we can kind of look past everybody's differences and then try not to offend people, and use opportunities like this where we're divided in all sorts of things in our day-to-day lives. We allow sports to bring us together. By the way, U.S. is leading the medal count. I think we're at 26 right now. So number one in the world, World War champs, undefeated, and also medal race, red, white, and blue, Star Spangled Banner getting played.
Yeah, we also didn't lose in Vietnam. We just got tired of being there, so we left. Just putting that out
there. Charlie's still catching strays, 50 years later. Naveen, let you close out Olympics talk, man. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, I wanted to go through some of these. Who you think is the greatest Olympian ever? I think that last thing on the previous topic is France called. Andrew's not here, but France called South Korea by the North Koreans. I'm sure a lot of people were pissed by that. And just yesterday, they played the Sudan national anthem during South Sudan's game.
Oh,
imagine
God.
just fighting a civil war,
covering yourself in glory, France,
and then playing the opposition's national anthem. People like almost riding in the crowd.
That'd be like the Russian national anthem being played during America's medal ceremony.
Exactly. That's how bad it is.
Well, France has made a country completely off of surrender. So I mean, you can't expect very much out of these guys.
Yeah, I mean those frogs over there has been saved by us more times than we'll be able to count.
All right, so I'll go for who I think the greatest Olympians ever that I've seen are. Like, I think you can't really argue with Michael Phelps, just the medal counts and all those things.
Yeah, hands down, biggest weed smoker and best swimmer of all time.
Hey, smoke weed at University of South Carolina, baby.
Okay, I didn't know that actually. That's pretty cool.
By way of Baltimore, Maryland. There he is, South Carolina Gamecock.
He was at the Gamecocks home, sitting there in their dorm rooms with the students, getting down.
Okay.
Shout out Michael Phelps.
I think also like someone that's been like incredible to watch, Usain Bolt, fastest man on 2 feet. I also just like
Bruce Jenner, you think he's pretty elite too?
That's who I was gonna say. Bruce
Yep.
Jenner.
that the artist formerly known as Bruce Jenner.
Is that dead calling? I don't think you can do that anymore. I think that's a term, dead calling. So I think we got to
Okay.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner. Okay. I would say that. Who are some of your favorites, or is there any sports out there?
Michael Jordan, by far,
Michael
man.
Jordan?
Like when I was growing up, man, let me tell you something, man. Michael Jordan revolutionized sports in the way that it's marketed, the way that even the supersedes the game of basketball in the NBA. The NBA obviously benefited from Michael Jordan going with the Dream Team and Team USA and all that in the early 90s. But Michael Jordan, the way that he marketed himself as an athlete, and he really knocked it out of the park. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the division part, right? So one thing that I do want to bring up about the Team USA basketball team is we had Steve Kerr and Steph Curry already come out and endorse a politician for president, right? It wasn't Donald Trump, so you just go ahead and figure who it was. But Michael Jordan, he was quoted famously as saying Republicans buy sneakers too, right? So one of his most famous quotes, and one thing that I really enjoy about that quote is he was smart enough as a businessman and as an athlete to not alienate any of his fan base. And what happens when you do that? When Steve Kerr says endorse Kamala Harris for president, he just alienated a bunch of people based off of a political point of view that he didn't have any reason to share. He's the head coach of Team USA. So what does that make Team USA look like? Looks like they endorse a specific politician, right? So again, you alienate a fan base. Why do you have to say that in your opening interview at the Olympics? You don't. Just go play basketball. And I know you're going to be like, oh, Josh, don't tell athletes to shut up and dribble. That's not what I'm doing. But I will say, on this last point about the way Michael Jordan is a good businessman, like he had that figured out. And guess what? I buy Jordans still daily, or not daily, but on the regular, right?
Daily.
Mm-hmm.
I buy it on the regular. My kids are growing so fast, it feels like I buy them daily. Okay. But, I put my kids in those. But guess what? I won't buy because I don't agree with, all the his politics and just kind of, some of the stances that he has. I don't buy LeBron James. Right.
Nope.
So again, it's because of the way that he goes about certain things. But I'll buy Jordans because, again, he doesn't alienate anybody in his fan base based off their morality, their politics, or whatever. So Michael Jordan, best Olympian, best athlete, just GOAT of all time outside of the realm of basketball. Give me MJ.
Chase, anything to add there?
I always go back with Michael Phelps just because when he dove in, it's him. I'm very big on the one-on-one aspect of something. And now basketball, you still got your one-on-ones whenever I pick up whatever, but you got 5 hits. I'm not downplaying Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest athlete to ever breathe. I love him to death. One of the best things I ever did in my life is we wrestled at Laney High School in North Carolina, and I could barely wrestle because I was just amazed at the murals painted across there. I was like, Michael Jordan's been in here. But Michael Phelps was just, if you remember watching him, it was almost like he was just racing against kids to a degree.
Yeah, it was great, man.
He was winning at ease. I don't watch swimming ever, and I'll probably never watch anybody else swim other than my kids in the river right here. But I watched it because I wanted to see Michael Phelps, and not only was he like
that,
a
fish. He a fish, man.
Dude, that dude was so passionate.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched the video, there's a video on YouTube.
He loves his country too, man. He really does.
Dude, and it kind of just encapsulates Michael Phelps to a degree. There's a swimmer from Australia. She's a female. She did not make the Olympics this year. Karma. She made a video and she was like, the best thing to do, like, she's like, and she's won a ton of medals. She was like, it wasn't even winning the medals, it's just beating USA. Because every time they win, they chant USA, USA. And they were doing an interview with Michael Phelps and showing him the video. And you could just see his demeanor change. And you could just tell it's starting to piss him off. Whenever he got done, he put it down. He said, he called her out by name, and he started calling out like Australian swimmers, and he's like, "I beat you, so what was your motivation? I beat you, and if I'm Team USA, I play this every day, just a little bit more motivation, and I just put it in your face whenever I win the gold, because I'm gonna win the gold." And at YouTube, it's also you can just see it gets me fired up. It gets me. I'm getting ready to toss my bed right now thinking about it because I'm so fired up. But the dude loved representing the United States of America, and there was no political to Michael Phelps. You didn't know who he voted for. You didn't know who he leaned towards.
Correct.
All you knew is that guy was here to win. He was here to win for the red, white, and blue, and that man was going to represent you. He was going to bring the passion every time. And I had no idea whether they're swimming 200 meters, 100 meters. It's a relay race. I ain't got a clue. But I know if he dives in, he's getting ready to smoke everybody, and I'm excited about it. And so I'd watch him, and he'd get out, and he's pumping, everybody's cheering and all that, and that got me excited. And that is what the Olympics are all about. I watched the dude spin yesterday, and I think he won gold for the USA, and he had glasses. He took them off to go spinning, and I don't know what that is. I know it's some form of gymnastics. But my man is on. He's spinning.
I'm a horse. Yeah, I remember that guy.
He's from USA. He won gold. I'm behind it. He looked excited. I'm excited. That's why I watch the Olympics. And that is what it's about. I want USA to win. There might be a dude in China that's 10 times the person. He's a great guy. And if I knew him, I'd love him. But he's not wearing the red, white, and blue. So it's time for me to get behind my country and have pride in it. And I'm going to cheer him on. And that's what you do with the Olympics. And it brings everybody to compete. You get to cheer for your team. You get to cheer for your guys, your girls. And then it just brings the world together. Instead of it being like South Carolina versus Tennessee on Saturday, and we can go at each other, and then afterwards we're going to talk trash against everybody else in the SEC and all that. That gives the world a chance to get a taste of what that is. And everybody can kind of come together and see those types of things. And as the world continues to evolve into a more woke idiot type world, you're seeing more and more of it worldwide, unfortunately. Sometimes you think it's just America that's got a bunch of idiots in it that are registered to vote, but it's not. When you go worldwide,
no, we're just catching up, unfortunately.
That's it. And so you see it out there, but I wish that we could get to the core of it. And I hate that the Olympics are in LA. I wish that they would come back to Atlanta instead of LA.
Why not Charlotte? Why not why not Nashville?
Bro, why not Miami? Man,
well, I don't know. Miami, I don't know. Man. They had the Copa Games down there. We talked about it on the last show, and they were sneaking into the air ducts, taking people's seats that people had bought tickets for and everything. But yeah,
we'll put it in Tampa then.
Or Jacksonville. That'd be a good place.
Do something like that. But I mean, I hate this going to LA because you're gonna have another woke agenda, and we'll probably have a Colin Kaepernick commercial about a struggling guy that was raised by two extremely rich white parents, which none of us got to experience. Somehow we made it. Hashtag I was on the free lunch program my whole life.
Reporting live from the gutter.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't get another ice cream again. So but anyways, that's what the Olympics are about. The greatest Olympian, I think, is Michael Phelps, point blank period. And I think that in his time, there was just nobody. I mean, Lil Wayne rapped about him.
Yeah, I mean, if Lil Wayne raps about you, you're pretty much certified.
That's it. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Watch my shoes.
So I will say shout out to Simone Biles. She's becoming. She's already a GOAT of gymnastics. She's like cementing her legacy this year. Interesting to watch. Like she's getting tricks named after her. There's things only she can do.
Who's this?
That's amazing too, right?
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna come for Simone. She's doing a great job. But I have some feelings about how she dipped out on the last one.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
I got it. You got to take care of mental health. I got it.
So to close today's podcast, last topic is Team USA basketball. They really struggled in their preseason kind of games for this Olympics, but they showed up last or couple days ago against Serbia. They seems like a riches of talent. Just want to get your guys' feeling on how this team compares to other great teams in Team USA. Personally, for me,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Personally, for me, it doesn't stack up to most of the team Kobe was on or MJ was on. It's just weird. Like sudden, like you got to be so dependent on LeBron and KD. Like what? Anybody under 35 going to do something on this team?
I mean, when you play Jason Tatum for 0 minutes, I mean, what do you expect?
Who's the killer on the team?
They don't have one.
Who's the killer? I mean,
nice guys.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, you got a couple Twitter warriors. You got a couple Hillary Clinton banshees running around out here to want to make more of a political stance and get their kid to the NBA. That sucks. Who's the killer? Who is here that lives, eats, breathes basketball? Don't care about Facebook. Don't care about Instagram. Don't care about Twitter. To give a piss about any of it. All they want to do is play basketball. They live their life for basketball, and now they're on the Olympic level doing it.
I'll tell you. Unfortunately, Chase, I think the last one that existed like that, unfortunately, is the late Kobe Bryant. Yeah,
Kobe.
And I'll say, to your question, Naveen, I'll answer this with, I am a patriot. I love my country. I will never root against Team USA. But that doesn't mean I have to root for them.
No.
Okay.
So this is one of the first times where I can tell you
Team USA basketball. Team USA basketball made me check out when they started doing the whole I endorse her
Kamala
and
Harris,
Kamala and all that stuff, right?
And be honest with you, if Steve Kerr
80% of the people that would watch Team USA play basketball are people like us, and they're the same people that are checked out because of that same shit.
Well, and the bad part is people hear that and they'll be like, it's because they don't endorse Trump. Listen, if that basketball team stands up and says, we want to endorse Donald Trump right now, I'm out again.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. I can tune in to CNN and Fox News just 24 hours a day. I can hear those lies anytime I'm ready.
Sports is my escape. Don't bring it into sports.
This is my mental health. Simone Biles had to go check out for mental health. I'd hate to work. I'd hate to work my 50-hour week and have to take off for my mental health. But you can't do that. I get it. But dude, I'm not here for that. I'm here to watch the whistle blow. You to go into a jump ball, and I want aggressive offense and I want aggressive defense. I want you guys to unite. I want to act like y'all having a great time, and I want to see somebody getting in somebody else's ass from another country. There's no reason South Sudan should have had us down to the wire. We went to the wire with South Sudan. South Sudan just won their first
Shout out South Sudan.
Shout out.
I mean,
respect, right?
Respect all the way. You're playing against the most elite basketball players in the world, South Sudan, so you have nothing to hang your head about.
You ain't them dudes didn't get shoes until the day before they got to get in there. I mean,
they're in there. They're fighting for their lives, their country. It means something to them.
Luau Ding has paid out of his pocket for those guys to train the last 4 years. They had no gym, no weights, no basketball, no nothing. The last 4 years, Luau Ding has paid out of his pocket for them guys to train. And it shows because they got so much pride because they fought for the country they got. And it shows they're trying to represent who they are. And that's what America used to be. That's what we used to be when we watch it. And we still got some Patriots out there. It ain't every one of them. But we still got some Patriots that are in the Olympics. But basketball has
not New England Patriots, real Patriots.
No, real Patriots. New England Patriots suck. But we have went so far past what it used to be. And I hate it for the guys that are in the Olympics, 2 completions per game. forum picks. I hate it for the guys that are in the Olympics that are true Americans and doing what they're doing out there, and you can still get behind them because they get washed with the crap that we're seeing with like team, USA basketball. That was one of my favorite ones in the Olympics. I always want to watch it. And now,
I mean, we always used to buy the jerseys, growing up. Like, I'd go to the Nike outlets or whatever. They would have the Team USA jerseys there for sale every year, man. And
Allen Iverson, everything.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. You had MJ's Team USA, Vince Carter. You had Karl Malone, KG. You had all the greats, man.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, yeah. I mean, Steve Nash is Canadian, so he wasn't playing on Team USA. But I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Yeah. Didn't mean to call you, but I had to. I couldn't let that one slide.
No, you shouldn't have. That was disrespect. I shouldn't have done that. That's on me.
It's all right. Jason Kidd. I got it. Another Phoenix Sun. Yeah, I got you. We're there.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we covered it all today in depth on South Carolina. I know so much more about South Carolina, where these kids are from, how close they are to Chase, anything what they like to eat for breakfast. I know everything I need to know about South Carolina.
What dental floss they use, the brand.
I know everything I need to know.
We're passionate, bro. We're passionate.
Bet the over on South Carolina wins if you want to. Oklahoma, that is a schedule of death. Somehow Vegas is saying 7.5. I doubt it gets over 6 at all. Under there. We talked a little bit about the Paris Olympics. Don't forget to bet Serbia plus -18.
Serbia -18. That's your best bet for the week, man. Listen to Naveen. He gives you quality picks. That's going to be my bet. I'm going to go right after this show and lock that one in for myself.
Yeah,
using our signupexpert.com/LockyTop. You can also scan that QR code down there at the bottom right. So yeah, take Naveen's advice if you want to make some money.
And yeah, I just want to thank Chase and Josh. It's been a great show. We got deep. We shot from 3.
It has been a great show. And I appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. So one thing that we didn't get to, and we'll preview for next week's show, Tennessee recruiting. Just want to give one shout out real quick. Top 5 class. We had a great weekend. A couple 4 stars committed. Probably the best safety, in the 2025 class. So we'll talk more about that on the next episode. And I wanted to spare Chase all of the theatrics that come with, rubbing a great recruiting class and a rival SEC fan base's face. So I won't continue to go down that rabbit hole.
Number 1 class for 8 wins.
There we go. Yeah, see, I knew this is what we would get. So I wanted to spare our fans that tune in to get some good Tennessee content. The naysayer down there. But again, Naveen, thanks for hosting this show tonight, man. It's always great to be your co-host. Chase, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
This is Locky Top Sports. We love you guys. Listen, like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on episode 29. Thanks for tuning in. Locky Top out. GBO.